good evening, friends. What's happening, everybody? Hopefully, Yep, that thing's working. That thing's working. The only thing that's not working is we forgot to switch our sound over, which we just did. Oh, we got the music. Look at that. Roxic78, thanks very much for the follow. That's very kind of you. Good evening. Welcome back to Save vs. Poison. My name is Will. I am your host. As well as being a host, I am also an addict in recovery these last 3 years and almost 8 months. Actually, 8 months yesterday. Yeah, 8 months yesterday. Hey, cheers. Right on. 9 months? 10 months? 12 months? Who knows? Who keeps track anymore? I don't even try to keep track anymore. It's not worth it to keep track. No, it might be worth it to keep track. I don't know. Why do I keep it in my head? Why do I have a 3-year coin right here? I don't know. It's a good question. These are good questions. I'll ask myself again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Grats, keep it going one day at a time. Thank you very much, Roxic. Really appreciate that. Nice to have you here. How are you today? I hope you were doing well today. I'm all right. Today was a good day. We just did a bunch of stuff around the house and then did some errands. It's the kids' first day back in school, so ushering them towards their higher learning capabilities in terms of, freshmen and fourth grade, as high as you can get in those things. That's what we're hoping for our children. So we're having a good time. Too blessed to be stressed. I like that quite a bit. Spent some time with the wife. I did Costco. I don't know if you've ever done Costco. Costco is just delicious. It's just the best thing ever, right? Did you know that they sell those chicken bakes? You can get those chicken bakes frozen and then you can make them right at home. You don't have to go to Costco to make those. It's fucking delicious. Absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited to have those in my life and not have to wrestle through all the crowds at Costco to get there. Yeah, is right. Friggin' delicious. The chicken, the bacon, the Caesar dressing, the crusty good crusties. Oh, not a lot of things that we can say crusty is a good look for. Costco, they make a good crusty. They make a good, delicious crusty. What do we got tonight? Tonight, we're going to be spending some time with our friend Drudge NYC, who is a fellow streamer. And if you haven't yet, we're going to shout him out right now. Let me see. Let me make sure that I got that right. I think I got that right. Oh, we got it right. Fantastic. At least I think we did. Did we get it right? I hope so. I hope we got it right. Man, it takes forever for my computer to load anything up. My camera is 3 inches off to the side where it normally is. It's making your eye twitch. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make your eye twitch. John, here's the thing, buddy. It's a solid. There's no underscore. No. You deserve better, and we're gonna provide that. So there's the link to Drudge. It's not okay. You need to demand better from your friends. Demand better. I want you to demand better from now on. All right, you can do that. Just correct me and be like, you piece of shit. You absolute piece of shit. Get my name right, all right, bro? That's all you had to do. So why is our camera off to the side? I mean, we're going to be doing mostly audio stuff today anyways, right? We're not doing any gaming tonight, right? Well, I figured I might as well be productive with my hands while I'm being productive with my ears and my mouth. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking to Drudge. I'm really excited about that. We're also going to be spending some time painting a miniature. I already have my palette all set up over here to my right. I've got all my supplies, got everything ready to go. I came down here an hour early to make sure that everything was good to go. Very excited about that. I haven't painted on stream. It's been probably about 3 or 4 months since I painted anything on stream. The last thing that I painted on stream was, of course, the Battletech miniatures that I had. They're actually still over here. I haven't taken them back upstairs to finish them off yet. I get so ahead of myself with getting stuff done that oftentimes I will skip getting all the way through a project because I get excited for the next project. It's really actually kind of a problem because right now up on my painting desk upstairs, like I don't usually paint down here, up on my painting desk upstairs, it is just, it's just a minefield of unpainted primed models that all need a little bit of TLC, just un poco TLC. In sobriety news, this week has been pretty easy. So the last time that we checked in was Sunday night. We're checking in tonight. I have not had any major cravings, although yesterday on the recording of the podcast episode, I did go over the fact that on Friday I did have a pretty substantial craving, and it was actually to do with the fact that I had a couple minutes down before I was supposed to go live at 8 o'clock, watching another streamer play one of the games that I really like to play, and then drinking a beer, not getting drunk, just having a beer, and all I could think was, God, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy that can drink that beer in moderation and play video games with his friends, because that's what I used to. Well, I mean, not the moderation part of it, but the drinking and playing video games with friends. That was a Thursday through Sunday night kind of activity. Now, can't do it. Not allowed to do it. And I set that for myself. That's not an external pressure, although I would lose things externally if I were to drink. So for the time being, I have to think to myself, I am giving up access to alcohol in order to have the kind of life that I really want to have, the kind of relationships that I really want to have. The things that I'm grateful for in sobriety are all the things that I would lose. So it's this push and pull of tensions. The things that I have that I want to keep, the things that I stand to lose, and they're the same thing, but the motivation for them comes from both a positive and a negative reinforcement side of things. So yeah, that's basically been it. I haven't had any big cravings since last Friday. Normally, the way that I engage in my recovery is life is kind of on cruise control for a lot of things. Like, I do the things that I need to do to stay sober on a regular basis, but I don't have to think about them as much. Now, I'm mindful, but I don't have to think through the idea of getting on stream instead of going to the liquor store. That's not a difficult thing for me to do. I know what the right decision is for me in that instance. I'm allergic to drugs and alcohol. I break out into handcuffs. Man, that's a rough thing. Is it just the handcuffs, or do you get the ankle cuffs too? Because that's a really severe allergy. I don't know if that's something like you get the combo right there. The next thing, the only step further than that is they put you in the Hannibal Lecter cage, and that's a bad one too. Of course, one step past that and you're just dead. So, pick your level of allergy, right? I guess. Maybe? No? Maybe? Yeah. I got you. I kind of like it. I'm allergic to drugs and alcohol. I break into handcuffs. All right. So we're going to do a real quick David Blowie this evening. Real quick. We're just going to get into it. Here's our Blowie. Here's the sound. As usual. If you're not familiar with the David Blowie, this is my home breathalyzer. I'm going to put this little tip right up to my lips, and we're going to blow on this thing until it stops squealing at us. You know what I mean? It's squealing. Oh, I'm betting zeros. There they are. There are them zeros. We got all those zeros. I'm very excited to have a bagels on that. I'm not eating a lot of bagels these days, but it's nice to have those bagels on there. So, Drudge, whenever you're ready, I'm in the stream Discord channel. You are more than welcome to join me anytime that you are up. I'm assuming that's going to be your dulcet, glorious voice that I'm about to hear.
Yes. Hello.
There it is.
Hello, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Drudge NYC. What's up, Drudge?
Not much. Just relaxing.
Tell me about your relaxing. Tell me about your relaxing, my friend.
Well, I made sure to make my lady and myself a cup of coffee.
Nice.
I got my Twix bar.
Okay.
And just pretty much took it easy today. I had the day off of work, so.
Very good. I'm glad to hear that, dude. Glad to hear that. So tell me a story, man. Tell me a story. Give me a lowdown. So, let's go with the you said you wanted to read the promises. I want you to introduce yourself a little bit beforehand though. So whatever part of your identity you're willing to share, and then your date of sobriety.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Joe. I'm an alcoholic and addict. Sobriety date is February 12th, 2019.
Yeah.
I Started off young. I was binge drinking at 15, and then once I graduated high school, I graduated to smoking weed, and that lasted way long. Like that went into my mid 30s, I'd say. So all I was doing was just drinking alcohol, liquor, binge drinking to oblivion, and smoking to quote unquote even myself off, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's the lies that we tell ourselves early, right?
That's definitely one.
Then I had a yes, sir. Then I had a bright idea to after my son was born. I had the bright idea to start sniffing cocaine because I wanted to lose weight and be impressive and, you know, show off and all that. And that quickly spiraled me into crack cocaine. And that was where pretty much everything, like, so they say, like, everything around you is falling apart.
Yeah.
And yet the addict and alcoholic is like, yeah, no problem. Everything's fine. Good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing what we can convince ourselves of.
Yes, sir. And, you know, my buddy in the chat, Rock678, he's actually long time in real life friend of mine. Me, him, and our other brother, Matt, who recently, he passed away from alcoholism. He died of kidney failure. But all three of us used to party together. We always used to drink and smoke. And he's actually, because of him, he took me to my first AA meeting in the Bronx, in New York. So pretty much, if it wasn't for him, I would never, you know, I would have never really been lean that way.
So big thank you to Rock678, yeah?
Yes. Oh yeah. I love him. He's like a brother that I never had, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. So you said you wanted to read the promises.
Yes, sir. If I can, please.
Yeah, 100%, man. Go right ahead. Show's yours.
Cool. Thank you. So, if we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well done. Nice.
So, you know, I'm sorry. So
no,
I missed
please,
this feeling of, you know, I got sober in the Bronx, but, you know, I was a part of a home group and like the in-person meetings, you know, like I don't know. It was just like I often said, man, I got here too late, right? Because you missed all the sober dances and all the functions, the AA functions and everything. And you know, obviously, I owe my life to a lot of different people. Sure. But really, when COVID hit and pretty much most of the AA rooms were out of commission because of COVID, everyone kind of hopped online to Zoom, and I got to tell on myself, I was never much of a fan of Zoom meetings. Like I was like, it's not the same because it's not in person. But I realized that that's the disease trying to work its way back in to say, oh, you don't need that. You're good, right? So I'm happy that I've met you and that we can share the message between us. So thank you.
I'm glad you hang out, man. I'm glad you stopped by. I mean, I've had a couple of phone calls with people who have asked, why do I do this? Why is it my face that I'm willing to put out? And I'm like, I'm doing this for selfish reasons. Like, this is what I consider to be not only a part of my service is providing a platform where people can basically anonymously show up and, you know, you want to use a pseudonym, you can use pseudonym. You want to use an online handle, you can use an online handle. You want to never identify yourself as anything to do with other parts of your life, you can literally do that. You can not share, you can share, you can hop into the Discord, you can not hop into the Discord. But every single person that stops by, that shows up from time to time, you don't even have to come every time. Show up once a month, you show up once a year. Every single person that does that is just one more person that knows that Will is an addict, and that's one more person in my sort of chain of sobriety. You know, that's one more person that's helping me to be accountable to myself and to the promises that I've made, not only to myself, but also to the family members, and now to all of you. So, you know, everybody that shows up, man, I'm always really, really pleased. For anyone that sticks around for a couple minutes, that lurks, that, you know, takes anything from any of the messages, that anybody that comes in and shares anything that they can take from any of that is always just, it's absolutely fantastic. I think that the one of the things that I struggled with early on was every single meeting that I went to, and I went to a couple of, so out here in Colorado, we have Life Ring, which is a secular kind of an AA. It takes a lot of the, you know, the ideas of the 12 steps and replaces a few of them with some slightly more person-centric language. So there's less talk about God, but there's more talk about, you know, community and, you know, creating accountability amongst your peers and with your family. And every single time I went to a meeting, I noticed that there were a lot of people that were mourning their addiction more than they were celebrating their sobriety. And I don't ever want this to become a chore. I always want this to be something that I come to with at least a sense that I'm going to enjoy my time in this space. So that's why, you know, we combine the gaming with the talking about sobriety. And that's why the sobriety part, while it always takes precedence, and anytime somebody has an issue or thought or something they want to share, we shut down the gaming, we go back to the talking head screen like we've got on right now, and then that's how we move forward with the show. And until that period in time has been satisfied, as far as the conversation goes, we don't go back to the gaming unless things kind of, you know, lighten up quite a bit. So yeah, really, really pleased that you're here, man. Really pleased you're here indeed. John says,
well, thank you, Ed.
Drudge sounds like he could share some great sobriety. He also sounds like he could tell me where the best bagel with the freshest lox would be. So John lives just a little bit north of you in Vermont, I think.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's not too far from you. If we ever do an East Coast Save versus Poison Con, I look forward to seeing the both of you. And Ed, John, does Vermont have a pizza that you can bring down for me? Because I know New York's got some slices I'm gonna try to eat. Yeah, I know that for a fact. So, yeah, man. So, what specifically would you like to come on and talk about today? Do you have I guess the first thing that I should ask, do you have a share for this week? When was the last time that you got to share? How are you doing in your sobriety right now, bub?
Oh man, haven't shared in a few months now, I'd say.
Okay.
It's been I was actually, last time I shared was at a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
That was like a few months ago. Like, again, see, I'm telling on myself here, you know, like I know I need to do these meetings because I know it's my medicine. I know that that's where I get the message.
Yeah.
But at times, like I am, you know, I wake up and the first thing I do when I wake up, I don't even get to my knees you know, and I like how you were saying about not so much talk about God, but like community.
Yeah.
And you know, that's powerful because, you know, it's a we program, right? So
that's
absolutely cool. Yeah. So I guess what I just want to, you know, I started my channel same way like what you're doing, like, you know, gaming and sobriety. I haven't did the whole podcast, you know, talking, but I was trying to be where my channel could be a beacon for other alcoholics and addicts that are suffering, to show that we do recover, right? Like,
yep,
there is a way out. You just gotta have to want it, and that's sometimes people as we both know, and I'm sure Roxic as well, like, and anyone who's in here with sobriety knows that, we're stubborn, we're stuck in our ways, and we're not ready to surrender, right?
Yeah, and we've got that
so
inner
I
addict
guess,
that's always like playing with our stubbornness to get us back to, some bad habits. Yeah, I got you.
yes,
I'm following.
yes, sir. And while we are not actively drinking or using drugs, filling that donut hole that you speak of, I filled it with games, I filled it with coin collecting, I filled it with scrapping. Like, I go scrap, me and my girlfriend and our grandson, we go scrapping for metals and copper, and I will say that gaming probably, like, I do it a little too much, so that's like another addiction, right?
It can be. Yeah, it can be.
It's keeping me sober in the same way.
I mean, so I've had this question asked of me, like, if the term California sober, right? You've heard that term?
No, I have not.
Okay, so it's basically somebody that has a problem with alcohol, but they still smoke weed. And I always, because I'm never in the space to judge other people in where they're at, I'm not going to say that that's not going to work. I'm going to say that that's not going to work for me, right? It doesn't work for me. I don't like weed personally, so it's not that's not a hard one for me to say no to. But I can't trade alcohol for something like weed. But from what I've seen, for those people that can moderate, or for those people that don't have the dire outcomes that they would with their primary substance of choice. So for me, it's alcohol. If I were to say, you know what, instead of drinking, I play video games, and every once in a while the dishes don't get done because I played video games instead of getting some chores done. I mean, progress, not perfection, right? I want to be moving in the right direction. That doesn't mean that I'm always going to do it perfectly. And there are things that I'm going to take joy in that might not be the best thing for me, but I know for a fucking fact that me and booze are oil and water. They do not mix.
Right on. That's 100%. And I like that. Progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection, man. Yeah. So you saying to me, maybe I play a few too many video games? I mean, maybe, but you're not doing coke. You're not smoking crack. You're not drinking. You're not smoking weed. I'm not trying to, like, it's not an excusing thing, but if I were to, look at your life on any of those 4 substances, and then look at your life now in recovery playing video games maybe a little bit too much, figured you could probably pare down the video games a little bit easier than you could probably say no to the drugs and alcohol if you were to have something like a relapse. I mean, do I sound off? Does that not sound right?
I think I think you're right on with that. Sure. And, it's like, some people think of it as you're just substituting, right? But in the reality of it, I'm getting a reverb. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, everyone. Substituting one thing for another, but really, and I'll be truthful, video games for me are an escape.
Sure.
I get to go fishing, I get to go hiking, I get to go, do whatever I want, and I don't have to leave my house, and it's a beautiful thing because nowadays, really, I mean, and this is another problem too I have with me becoming sober over these past 4 years, right? It's like the scales have been removed from my eyes, right? So now I'm seeing everybody how, like, that's how I used to act.
Yeah.
I see it now, and it's like, oh man, I hate people, but I know that's not how I should be. So, I'm working on it a day at a time as well.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's hard to get out there and meet new people. Sometimes it's you put yourself out there, you have what feels like limited time, and if somebody wastes that time, especially when you put like emotional energy into that can be so incredibly frustrating. So it's really easy to just say, you know what, I can make a couple friends online. And while I think that there is something to be said about, you know, getting together with people out in the meat space, as I like to call it, friendships that we make online, they're real friendships. Like, the fact that I can call up Brick and say, hey, Brick, let's play some Remnant, and Brick will, you know, if he's got nothing else going on, can hop into the game and we can laugh and have some fun for a couple of hours. And hopefully, if we were to ever meet in real life, you know, shake a hand, give a big hug, goof around, all of that connecting that we have happen over an online forum, over, you know, Discord, playing video games, hopefully that translates, you know? I think that nowadays you can get a really pretty decent understanding of who and what you are dealing with in an online forum, in Discord calls. Not always. There's always going to be people that are, you know, going to potentially take advantage of other people, but I don't think that that necessarily is more or less in too great a degree from just people that you might meet in real life who are looking to take advantage or be pieces of shit to you. You know what I mean? Hope he's still there. Drudge, you still alive, brother? I mean, sometimes it might be better on the Discord. Maybe. It's possible, you know? Yeah, gaming never landed me in jail just like coffee. Yeah, I've never... Like, listen, I drank too much coffee way too fast today. And that coffee that I drank way too fast today, like, it ran through me. Like, I'm at the Costco and I'm like, you're gonna have to check out. Here's the card. I gotta go. It was an uncomfortable moment. It was a very, very uncomfortable moment. All right, I think Drudge dropped out. I don't know if that's a... God, I hope it didn't... hope I didn't make him angry. I didn't say something stupid. First day of school for my son today. I pounded the coffee before 7 a.m. Yeah, dude, like, there's nothing like, you know, seeing somebody that you know from like work or something, and they're like, that you haven't seen him in like a year, and like, oh my God, it's so great to see you. And I'm like, yeah, great. I am literally puckering as hard as I can right now to keep myself from soiling myself next to the candy bars. You have got to let me go to the damn turlet. Yeah, as I run to the well, it's more like a speed walking to the restroom. It's not a run. You don't want to run, all right? A little bit of a bounce, and suddenly you've got brown pants, and you don't want brown pants. I don't want brown pants, okay? All right, Brick? That is not what I'm interested in. That is not what I'm interested in. Where'd the Judge go? Where'd he go? Where's our friend Drudge? Drudge. All right, well, we are going to pause the conversation with Drudge. As soon as he gets back, we'll keep talking to him. I'm going to switch now to our painting stream. Ta-da! So, tonight, we are painting a model that I purchased a while ago and put together. I thought that this was such an evocatively cool-looking model. This is from War Machine and Hordes. This guy's name is Agathon, Whisperer in the Dark. The storyline for this character is he is one of 3 Infernal Masters. So the Infernal Masters are are beings from this world's version of hell. They're basically like devils, for lack of a better term. Their whole thing is coming back to the world that they once upon a time basically made a deal with for a bunch of souls. This guy's come to collect those souls. That's what he's here for. So, we're gonna paint this guy up. We've got kind of a plan of what we want to do, although it's not 100% perfect. But I've got my wet palette over here. We've got our 4 brushes. We have a this is a number 2 series brush. It's a big, gigantic round tip brush. We have a small shade brush from Games Workshop. I think this is a 0. I think this is a 000 from... So that's the size of the brush. That's up against my thumbnail. So really, really small. And this is a a number 1 brush. So you can tell we've got 4 different sizes. They're all very exciting. I'm very excited. So this week, John actually last week, John asked us to have conversations about a couple things. One of the things that we had a conversation about this week was trying to live one day at a time and what that looked like. Now, I didn't answer that question, I don't think, to probably the level that John was asking for, but I did move that question in a different direction. And that direction was, if I feel, and I do, that the saying one day at a time is, oh, hey, awesome, dude, Brick, thank you so much for the sub, man. Super appreciated. Thank you. Prime sub. It feels good to have Prime subs. Thank you so much, man. Shit, where was I? I was using my words. One day at a time. If I think of that as a parachute saying, it's a saying that I use for those moments when things are difficult. Like, for the most part, sobriety for me, and I'm very lucky this way, is kind of on cruise control. Now, I have issues, I have problems, I have to do my maintenance. You know, we do 4 days every week worth of content creation. 1 day of podcasting, 3 days of streaming. That's 4 days where I am trying to be mindful of exactly where my place in sobriety is. Now, because of that, everything's basically on cruise control. But I do have issues now and again. Those days when I have an issue, that's where one day at a time kind of comes in. So the question that I actually asked was, one day at a time, if it's something that I use as a parachute for difficult moments, does it have your utility beyond that? And you'll have to tune into the podcast to figure that one out. Everybody ready? Let's get painting. So we're going to move this space, and we actually have, I almost forgot, we have right above me is Agathon, Whisperer in the Dark. This is one of 2 images that I have that are going to be kind of a basis for what we're doing here. We're going to have not quite as much black all over. There's going to be some gray midtones. We're going to do these 2 canisters back here that have scrolls, and these are the scrolls of all the people that that these guys are coming to go get, and you can see them right here. Right here. These are the scrolls. This is the scroll right there. These are going to be, so this is going to be regular parchment paper colored, but these two cases, they're going to be gold. We're going to do these in a gold. So we're going to have red, black, gold, gray. This will be a gray down here. This is actually this is a little creature right here. You can see him. This is a little tiny creature that's wound its tail around Agathon. It has like a little mouth. This is my little mouth. This right here is my little mouth. You see him? That's him. That's my little mouth. Man, did I talk too much? I hope Drudge didn't, like, I hope it's a connection issue and not that, like, I was talking too much. I really did want to keep chatting with him. I hope he's all right. Roxic, let me know. Internet bugged out for Judge. Oh, okay, there it is. Got it. Okay, well, tell him, you know, if you have his number or you're sending him text, let him know. He's welcome. Just hop right back on in. I'll hear the tone. We'll switch back to Talking Head and we'll get back on track. You know, checking in with him and how he's doing, and then we'll have a conversation. We'll have some more conversation. All right. So the very first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna block out our red down here, all the way down there. That's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna move our microphone just a little bit. There it is. Ooh.
Hey.
Ooh, I hear a voice.
My computer is still down, but my Xbox came back on, so I'm happy about that.
That's good. That's good. I was like, shit. Am I talking too much? Maybe I'm talking too much. Jesus.
Nah. I noticed that your mouth froze.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, uh-oh. And then it said something about reconnecting, and then I mean, we got Spectrum over here, so it's kind of hit or miss usually. Usually
Gotcha.
It works pretty well, but I guess there's powers that want me not to talk, so.
I want, you know what? Mess those powers, bro. I want you talking. I want you sharing. That's what I want. All right. So, where were we? We were talking about you hadn't shared in a little while, and you keep saying that you're telling on yourself, man. You share when you can share. All right, you do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one thing. My home group and my sponsor, because I did have a year before these years, and I did relapse.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
so when I relapsed, uh, my like one of our main staples in our home group, Ito, he I told him what happened, and
Mhm.
it was weird because one of the other home group members, they were handing me my 1 year coin,
Gotcha.
and I was like, oh, I can't take this, and they were like, why? And he was like, so he's like one of the old school AA guys.
Uh-huh.
Um, he's like, well, go ahead, tell her what you did, like real like stern, And I was like,
Yeah.
I relapsed, and but so then shortly, like after that, that's when I really met my sponsor, and
Mhm.
he had me read steps 1, 2, and 3 out of the 12 and 12,
Nice.
and that really I say that was like my aim, but that's where I was like thinking about from childhood, being raised Catholic, confirmation, communion, altar
Yeah, yeah.
boy, in the choir, whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
And then when I hit high school, I started listening to like death metal and reading the Satanic Bible, and so I kind of like abandoned God, and I was like, and then that went on for a little while, the whole Satanism, whatever, like reading passages and trying to be cool, like back then, right?
Sure.
Leather trench coats and all black, and then
We would have
at
gotten
some point
along,
in
man.
my
That was my crew. That was my crew. Like I didn't. I was too lazy.
Yeah.
I was too lazy to put that shit on. But that was my crew because I didn't have very much in the way of social skills, and that was one of the only groups of people that accepted me for who and what I was. So that was my crew.
I hear you, man. I mean, it's thinking about it now is silly, right? But so at some point I say, you know what, screw them both, and then I kind of took on to like I was my own guy, like I do what I want to do when I want to do it, or like
Yeah.
how they say, I want what I want when I want it.
When I
Right?
want
So,
it. Yeah.
yeah. So that's how. But then so anyway, so after reading steps 1, 2, and 3, I came to that like, wow, all that I've seen and been through to get to this point. To me, it was like something like this. My coworker that I work with,
Mhm.
that's another story for another time. But my coworker that I work with now, he's also a friend of Bill, and I
Okay.
was like, oh wow. So we were able to talk, and he calls them God shots, right? That's like smacking you in the mouth, like, listen, hey, like I put you here, or I did these things for a reason,
Yeah.
and this is showing you. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I don't want to. Yeah, yep.
No, I got you. I got you. Like, universe and God work in mysterious ways, man.
This is true. So yeah, so that's what I try to tell myself when I can. So
No, I that honesty is so unbelievably important for all of us. And I will ask questions. I will ask people questions on here, and I'll be like, listen, you don't have to answer me. You don't have to answer the chat. You don't have to answer anybody. But you do have to be honest with yourself. And if you can't be honest with yourself, then maybe you're not ready for your place in recovery yet. Because unless you can get to a place where you understand from your heart to your head that you have issues and that you need to be able to talk about those issues in an open and honest manner, not only with yourself, but those people that you want to bring around you to help you be accountable, it's going to be really, really difficult for you to keep yourself from relapsing. It's going to be really difficult for you to keep yourself honest in your recovery.
this is 100% true. I like what you're doing, man. It looks nice.
Thanks, man. I mean, just base coating right now. Nothing huge yet. But this is so you can see. All right, so from the top looks very, very bright and white, right?
Yeah.
Okay. From underneath, you'll see that it looks a lot darker. That's because what I did, and you can see like here, there's a transition right here where it's dark to on top, It's very, very light. So that's called a zenithal highlight. So basically, you prime the entire model in black, and then you prime just from the top, just where the light source is coming from, with white. And what that does is it gives you kind of a volumetric idea of exactly where your shadows and your highlights are going to go. It basically does half the work for you. It's a real great, quick, easy way of showing yourself exactly what needs to be light and dark. So we can see that even with this red paint, you're going to see some brighter areas and some darker areas because the shading's already done for me. It's already done by the zenithal highlight. So yeah, 100%, man. Thank you very much for saying that, though. Yeah. I like...
Yeah, now that my internet's working, I can see.
Yeah, I like using... Yeah, I got you, dude. I got you. I like using little cheats. This is one of the few areas where I don't mind cheating whatsoever. Although I did just make a little mistake right there. That's not supposed to be red, so you should castigate me. You should be like, listen, you son of a bitch, you ain't supposed to make that red. So, yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Shoot.
If that's okay.
Yeah, 100%.
So what was your first experience with gaming, if you don't mind me asking?
My first experience with gaming was my parents had an Atari 2600 and the game River Raid.
Nice.
And I think they were I think my mother's work, somebody at my mother's work gave her the 2600, and ever since that initial gaming system, I have been absolutely in love with the idea of allowing not only for things like tabletop gaming like this, but also I saved up the very first summer that that Nintendo Entertainment System had the Super NES out, was the one with the blaster and Duck Hunt and Mario and the 2 controllers. And I saved up doing lawns that entire summer just so I could afford it. And of course, what happened is I bought it and my parents played it for the first 6 hours. Can you imagine? I'm like 9 years old. I'm like, it's mine. I bought it. I bought it with my own money. It's mine. And my parents are like, we have to make sure that it's okay for kids. And I'm like, no, you mother... You do not have to do that. I want my damn... I'm gonna... Ooh, do you see the dog? He's laughing at you because you failed at killing a duck? Ha ha ha! That's what you get, Mom.
That's great.
Yeah. So that was mine. And after that, it was just kind of off to the races. I always had a really active imagination as a little kid, and I had a couple of neighbors and some family members who were really into like live action role playing before. It was just playing pretend, right? It wasn't like live action role playing. It was just playing pretend, but it always had something to do with like some kind of like goblins and dragons and ogres and giants and all that kind of stuff. And we always were supposed to be the heroes, and the oldest of our cousins would play whatever the villain role was. So like, he's like 3 or 4 years older than us and probably like a foot taller. So, we would go out in the backyard and, my parents would be like, what are you doing? Are you worshiping the devil? And I'd be like, no, we're not worshiping the devil. I'm just trying to slay dragons, Mom. Jeez. So yeah, after that, it was, learn to play Advanced Dungeons and Dragons,
nice.
Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasies 1 and 2 on the Nintendo. I loved role-playing games at the time. I was less interested in the action-y games. I wasn't very good at them. The Twitch mechanics for those kind of games never appealed to me, but the slow sort of Japanese RPG style gaming, I loved that. That was one of my favorite ways to get my imagination on. So yeah, that was me, man. And then how about you, bud? What was your first?
So my introduction, my father bought me a Commodore 64 computer system. And he had these dreams that I was going to be this computer programmer, first of the family to go to college, and and meanwhile I was playing like Oregon Trail on there, and and then my aunt had bought me the NES, And I loved Castlevania from the start, Metroid.
Oh yeah.
Obviously Mario Brothers. I was like, that's like a given pretty much for that system.
Yeah. Yep.
But at that same time, right? Like I was born in '79, so all through the '80s, I was growing up, and I had all these, GI Joes and He-Man and Thundercats and Transformers.
Absolutely. Dude.
And growing older, my cousins would be playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I kind of never really understood it. Like I was never right, but then they would build me like these great like fortresses out of like cardboard boxes from my action figures, so it was like a way that I can play with them.
Yeah.
Once, like I would say, probably like end of middle school into high school, it was all about Magic the Gathering.
Nice.
Tabletop.
Funny story. I just got rid of most of my collections. I still have like my pre-con decks, but yeah, most of that stuff is gone now.
Oh man, we would sit at my friend Tom's kitchen table, and we would just be playing Magic, man, like till non-stop, But I'm also like, as I'm getting older, I'm finding it more like I'm more interested in D&D now than I ever was before. Like
that's so fun.
Also seeing you and hearing you talk about Warhammer, and I think we talked about Hero Quest. Yep. Was another game that I played. I had the box for.
Yep. I had that game too.
To use the imagination is a beautiful thing.
Oh, I totally agree, man. I mean, the problem was always like trying to find people to play with that were in my peer group, because I had the family, but they were a couple of hours away, so it was difficult to coordinate that. It wasn't until I got into high school that I had like a play group that was, I mean, we talk about the trench coat crew. I was playing Vampire the Masquerade and Werewolf the Apocalypse and all that shit with them. That was a glorious time in my youth. That was like the only thing that made high school even remotely livable.
Yeah, we would, like, there would be like, as we got more into drinking, we kind of just like stopped playing games. Really, like we were just kind of worrying about walking. There was a music shop like 2 towns over, and we would just gather our friends up, and we would just walk there listening to like the latest like Cannibal Corpse album or something like that, just like walking over there. It was good times, but like at the same time, like who would have thought, right? Like
right.
That really, I like to call them heavy metal vomit parties. Yeah, because that's all we would be doing, man. Just drinking to oblivion, puking, passing out, waking up, like doing it again, right?
Yep. Do it again. Yep. This all sounds. I mean, not so much with the. I mean, I love metal. But it was partying with friends after doing like geeky shit. Was kind of my late teens, early 20s into my mid 20s until I met my wife.
Oh, I see Brick listening to Winds of Plague. Oh yeah, I heard their first 2 albums and then I kind of fell off. Also, Oceano. That was a favorite band of mine. I really liked that first album.
Yeah.
Roxic, breaking a lot of controllers. Yeah, man. I never did that because my father would be whipping my butt, right? Like,
yeah.
And he didn't even buy it for me. My aunt bought me the system because we were, I grew up poor. I grew up in, New Jersey. My father was alcoholic. He would be working. He did sheetrock.
Okay.
So he would be, out early in the morning, coming back like 4 or 5 o'clock at night, or late or mid-afternoon, or however you want to call it. Yeah. And he would just walk in the door and just fall flat on his face and just pass out because he was so drunk.
Oof.
So I remember my mom telling me early on, don't. Well, both my parents told me not to drink and do drugs, but we don't listen. We do it anyway.
I mean,
we have to find out for ourselves.
You said you have a kid, yeah?
Yes, sir. My son Lucas.
Yeah. How's so do you mind if I ask how that's going? How are things with Lucas?
Sure. You know what? At first, so I should say, last time I held him in my hands, in my arms, and heard him before this year was about 5 years ago.
Okay.
So when when he was 2.5 is when I really, like, I was thrown out of the house, closing garbage bags. I was sleeping in my car for a little while. I was sleeping at my aunt's house, couch surfing.
Yeah.
Anybody that would take me in, and of course, lying the whole time, saying, "Oh, I'm not trying to do better." Meanwhile, I'm getting high in their bathrooms and stealing from them, and it was real, real messed up, real in the grip of addiction,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so all this time, I'm paying child support, sending him, birthday gifts and Christmas gifts, and then this past year,
mm-hmm.
My ex-wife, she reached out to me, and she pretty much just let me know, like, Lucas is starting to ask about you, and on his 7th birthday, I got to video chat with him for the first time, and it was just like heartbreaking, but also heartwarming, right? Because you see this little boy, like, who he's never seen me drunk or high, and he probably never will, God willing, or whatever. Like, I'm planning to remain vigilant against these drinks and these drugs, but so now I talk to him on a regular basis.
That's
every Sunday and Wednesday. We have a video chat. We draw together. He sends me things in the mail, like, his mother mailed it out for him, obviously, but he sends me his drawings, and it's just real beautiful, man. Like, really happy to have him back in my life. I haven't seen him physically, like, I haven't been over there because I don't drive, and Roxy will probably get on my case about that to fix my license.
Gotcha.
To get those tickets paid, I got parking tickets, which is really nothing scary, but fear, right? Face everything and recover, or fuck everything and run, right? So it's daily reprieve. Yeah, you're right, brother.
What's that?
Oh, no, I'm reading the
daily reprieve. Gotcha.
Daily reprieve. Yeah.
I see it.
And even all of this, the woman I'm with, she has 30 years of sobriety.
Oh, wow.
So she's also, right, like, I want what she has, right? Like, I want what you have. I want what my buddy Chris has, and anyone else in chat that's sober. I want what you have, right?
Yeah.
Like, to wake up in the morning and not instantly crave, instantly dread where my car is, where my money is, why is my wallet empty, right? Like, just that, like how you said, daily reprieve, to just wake up, thank a higher power for another day, and live better than I did the day before.
I got you. I like it. I don't, everybody's path to sobriety is different. One of the things that I like to say, and I say it a lot, is we all tend our own gardens. We all have our own garden to tend, and it's really important that we put our garden. I put my garden first, because if my garden is out of whack, there's no way that I can be a decent person for the people that I need to be a decent person for. There's no way I can do the type of service that I need to for other people. So I prioritize my garden, but that doesn't mean I don't have enough manure to help you fertilize yours if you need it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like shit when it comes to talking.
Too. Yeah.
I like talking about shit. It's a funny thing to talk about. It's a ridiculous and funny thing to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, so this is probably really, like, what I'd like to do, right? Like, this is like, so I kind of jumped around a little bit, so I do apologize.
You're okay, dude.
So I I work a part-time job. I work at a thrift store here in town.
Okay.
Super big. Like, every donation that we get is free. Like, we don't buy anyone's stuff or
Right.
crap, if whatever, because most of the stuff that comes in the store is just terrible, man. Terrible condition. Like, I've worked with like feces and cat urine and like real nasty shit. But what I'm thinking, depending on what I want to do with my life, which I still don't know. I'm 44 and I still really have no idea, right? Like my career, or anything like that. But I'm thinking that I'd like maybe to give a go for like addiction counseling.
Yeah. I mean,
yes,
you've got stories, you've got experiences, and you've got hard-earned first-hand wisdom. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to A, help other people, and B, pay your bills while you're doing it.
Yes. And those that have sponsees, I don't have I don't think it's me being afraid. I think it's like I had heard from a couple other old timers that you should go through the steps first once and then be able to fully interact and help another alcoholic or addict. So I'm me and my sponsor talk, but we don't talk. We're anywhere near others, right? Like I know people that have like daily check-ins with their sponsor. Like you have to call me at this time every day, or we're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
Like I don't. My sponsor is kind of older, and one thing he did tell me was, listen, I'm not gonna be chasing after your ass.
Yeah.
So he said either you're gonna want this or you don't, right? So I'm like, okay, like I forgot where I was going with this. I do apologize.
No, you're okay.
But,
you're okay. We were talking about the hard-earned wisdom of having to do it yourself.
Yeah, because definitely I'll be quick to be like, I got this, and that's the first. We all know how that ends.
It can end in disaster, but that the idea of taking initiative in your life and in your sobriety. I mean, another one of my favorite sayings is nobody's coming to fucking save you. Nobody's coming to save you.
Yes.
There are hands there that are willing to give you help, but you have to do the work. You have to do the work of setting aside your ego and asking for help, which is huge. And it's a really, really big problem to try to overcome. Like, I can't, someone please help me. Those are really hard words to say, especially if you're not 100% in a place where, like, right now, Drudge, if I needed your help, I could ask you for help. Want to know why? Because I've done some work. I've gotten to a place where I know heart and head that I can ask other addicts for help, and provided that it's not putting you in a place where it endangers your sobriety, you will probably help me in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's just to talk me off a ledge. Let's see. That's Roxic says that's what he tells his sponsee. Not chasing your ass. Yeah. Stepping away and lurking. We'll be back. Okay, Breck. Sounds good, buddy.
Face with that works is dead. Yeah, Chris. Yep. 100.
Yep.
And also that goes for anyone in here. Like, I have some of these guys. Most of these guys are in your Discord.
Yep.
But if you need to reach out, please don't hesitate to send me a DM. Definitely willing to talk, or like how you said too, even just to take that desire or take that that obsession away for that moment is huge.
Yep. I've had I've had it be hours long phone calls. I've also had it be just hop in and say, hey, I'm struggling right now. Can we hop into a video game together? Yes, absolutely, we can hop into a video game together. And if that gets you over the hump of what your craving is, or whatever whatever the immediate frustration you're having in your recovery is, yeah, 100% we can do that. Are you kidding? I love doing that shit.
What a great way to vent. Just it could change someone's whole day.
Yep.
Or night. Like, just hey, I'm hopping in the game, or I see you playing something that I have. Mind if I hop in? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's so easy. It's so easy. I don't have to do anything that I wouldn't normally do. Like, it's just playing video games with my friends. And if they need to talk about something, we can talk about something. If you don't need to talk about, or if you don't want to talk about something, that's fine too. I'm not chasing, but I'm willing to help.
Yep. Right on. So that's nice. So I made some amends, right? I'll be honest. I made an amends to my ex-wife, to her family. I've made an amends to some friends that where I was staying with them, and I didn't pay them, or I just kind of like bounced on them or whatever, or that I owe people money, right?
Yeah.
Biggest one I haven't done yet, and it's true because I'm fearful of my aunt and my uncle. So they were big in my life when I was a child. We all went to the same church, and when I was staying with them, sleeping on their couch because I had been thrown out of the house and I didn't feel like sleeping in my car, I knew that she was like the church, like the money holder, right, for the people.
Yeah.
So one day, I went snooping around the house and I found the bag, and I took all the money and I went and got high, right? So, but that's not even the fear why I don't want to. It's just that I know, I don't know. This is the disease talking, that she's gonna be angry with me. She's probably gonna yell at me, and call me some names, because even when, like, I was, so this is how my insanity was. My car was being repoed out of her driveway because I wasn't paying car insurance for like 3 months, and they came and they were taking it. And I went outside and I confronted the guy, and the guy's like, "Well, you can take anything out of this car you want right now, and you could come pick it up." And I just turned around. I was like, "Ah, fuck it," and I went back inside. Like, I didn't even care. Like, I was just like, whatever, more money for drugs, cool,
Sure.
Rock's like, they might, I'm sure they'll be upset with me a little bit. But another thing too is I don't even know if they're alive. Like, they were both in their 70s.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I have no idea. Both of my parents have passed. So,
Gotcha.
And I remember clearly after my mom died, standing in my ex-wife's sister, the mother's house, and I'm standing there and I'm thinking to myself, I don't have to answer to nobody. Right? Like, I can just go off and do whatever I want to do.
You could. And
I did. And, I that started a whole, like, I used to have like this Star Wars room with all the Gentle Giant mini bus. Like, I'm like a Star Wars nerd, right? Like, you guys want to talk about Star Wars? Let's go. But I started selling off these things that I've loved so much.
Yeah. These
things that I've collected, and, took to horror movie conventions to get autographed, and, I took like real pride, and at the end of it, I was selling it for like $10 to just to get some crack, right? Like, just to get more money for drugs. But I like what you're doing. I gotta admit, I've told you before, I never played Warhammer before, game or tabletop.
Yeah.
But this looks very calming.
Painting models can be very zen. It can also be incredibly frustrating. But you get a couple of basic techniques down. You let yourself... So, giving yourself license to learn. Being patient and having some grace with yourself while you're trying to learn something new. Nobody wakes up and is like an expert miniature painter. That just doesn't happen. Nobody's an expert at anything when they wake up. You need to put some time into it, and you need to give yourself space to learn. I really do think that if people were less focused on their outcomes and more focused on their processes, they'd be a lot happier in life, because they can see that by applying good process, outcomes will follow that get better and better and better as you get better and better at the processes, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
It's like anything else, except for there's no stakes here. The only person that cares about how this looks at the end of this is me. I'm not going to disappoint anybody by putting shitty paint on a model. It's not going to happen, you know? Yeah, doing the work and see what happens. Yeah, do the work, see what happens. Continue to put decent work in, and you'll probably get good outcomes. I would imagine.
Yeah,
that's what I try to do.
Is really, Roxic he's solid, man. He's a good friend of mine. I love him. And he's early on in my sobriety, he was important. Like he was really, you know, like there's no, like he told me, like, you know, there's no done, right? You just don't go through the steps and then you're done. Then you can go live your life, you know, like go like, you know, or even think about, well, I did the steps, you know, I'm cool. Like I can go out and drink or drug. Like, no, there's no done. It's like a daily, daily work. And he's one that also will tell me all the time, it's all about action. It's all about action.
Yeah,
you can talk till you're blue in the face, but if you're not making moves, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
My sponsor told me one time, he goes, easy does it, but do it. You know, like
I like it.
Yeah, sure. You can rest on your laurels, but make sure that you're doing that work. And I'm, you know, I'm definitely I still got a lot to learn. Like I'm still new. I don't care how many years I achieve or how many days, or I don't even know what my day count is. I know I got 4 years, February 12th, 2019. So
yeah,
I'm in 4 years right now. Day count, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's important. Like I've gone back and forth with how I feel about anniversaries in sobriety. I sometimes really like them. I sometimes really don't care. I'm never like upset at them. I mean, if I make it to 4 years, that's great. I you know, there's nothing wrong with making it to 4 years, right? But I stopped thinking about addiction in a way that frames it in a shameful light when I started thinking about it the same way that anybody else would think about a chronic condition. So my addiction is a chronic condition. It's something that I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life, just like a diabetic or somebody that has Lyme disease that's chronic, or any other, you know, lifelong affliction. People with Parkinson's, people with what else is chronic? Hep C, any of these things that, you know, there isn't necessarily a cure, although I think there is a cure for Hep C, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to actually go back and check that out. But anyways, the whole point is, I am not ashamed of being an addict. I might be ashamed of some of the things that I have done and that I might do as an addict, but the bare fact that I'm an addict, that's just something that I need to mitigate. That's something that I need to take steps to make sure that I am treating my condition. And right now, that treatment for that condition is talking with my friend Drudge and hanging out and playing video games and spending time being mindful about my sobriety and making sure that I, you know, am taking care of the commitments to my sobriety that I made not only to myself but to my family, you know? So I really think that it's important to reframe the way that we think about addiction, because I'm an addict. That's not something that's right or wrong. That's neutral. What I do with the fact that I'm an addict, that is something that is right or wrong. You know what I mean?
That is beautiful, man. I like that idea, because for a long time I was always guilt, like that guilt weighs on me.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like becoming more like, because, you know, I get a lot of feedback at work, you know, and I'm very open about my sobriety. I don't, you know, I don't shy away from it. Like I talk about it. I even try to pass the knowledge along. Like I'll be at work just working, and someone new will be on the bin with me. So I'm a sorter. So we just sort clothes and housewares and all this stuff. Yeah. And I'll just, you know, they'll say something along the lines of school or college or, you know, going to a party or something, and I'll just, you know, just kind of share some tidbits of what my experiences was. Like, for instance, when I talked about my father wanting me to be this great computer programmer, right? I made it into a community college right out of high school, and, you know, I pretty much threw it away. I said, man, I'm going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I dropped out, and I since probably, man, I don't know, long time I've just been doing construction, roofing, siding, tiling, framing, carpentry, putting in windows, just like if you need something moved, I'm your grunt, right?
Yeah,
Just put me to work, I'll do it, And now, like, I see that my body, and I'm 44, and I see my body is talking to me, like, hey,
yeah.
you can't be doing that too much longer, or you're gonna be hurting, like lower back pains.
Yep.
My left knee is shot out because I used to, during the times when I used to listen to metal and hardcore, I still listen to it, but I don't go to shows or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I'd be jumping in the mosh pit, going crazy, and I hurt myself. And again, that's like more of the insanity talk, right? That's all like,
yeah.
I'd be in the mosh pit holding beers, wishing people would knock into me so I have an excuse.
Right? Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just silly. But
I got you though. I understand.
I find the longer I stay sober, the more is revealed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my lady is one of those people that have told that to me since I've met her. Like, more will be revealed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just keep on doing, and Chris too. Rock's like the same thing. Keep on taking the next right step.
Yep.
Yep. So I plan on. I'm sorry. I plan on living the rest of my life sober, man. Like,
yeah.
I plan on dying sober.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I was told really early on, and this actually bugged the shit out of me, was it's not if you relapse, it's when you relapse. And
yes,
I might relapse. I might. But I can't think of my sobriety. I can't think of my place in life in those terms. I can't plan to relapse. I got to plan to try to do everything I can to stay sober. And I recognize that you relapsed. I heard you said it. You said it, and you were honest about it, and that's fucking beautiful, and that's part of your journey. But you tell me that since 2019 you've been sober. I think that's fucking awesome. You could relapse tomorrow, and as long as after you have relapsed, you say and you mean and you do the things you need to get yourself back to a place where you're sober again, that's all right. I can't condemn people for falling prey to something that is a quote unquote chronic condition. That happens, and you have to have some grace. Not only do I have grace for you, but you should have grace for you as well. But that doesn't mean that we let off the gas in our sobriety, right? We keep going because we want to die sober.
Yes, I do appreciate that. I don't even know where to go after that, honestly.
What am I supposed to do? You relapsed? Fuck you. How does that help you? How on earth does that fucking help? How does that amount of judgmentalism help you? And more than that, how does it help me if I fall prey to the exact same thing that you did that I absolutely could?
Right.
I'm 100%
and that was
the same.
Yeah. Yeah, that was more of me, and this is gonna sound like how the programs have their own little slogans and so I was filing the numbers but not dialing them, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I knew I should be opening, either the Big Book or the 12 and 12 or Came to Believe or Living Sober daily, just to have that imprinted on my mind, right? But I was straying away from program, and exactly, it happened. And it wasn't something that just snapping my fingers. That was, like they say, usually a relapse happens weeks before or months before because our mind is already there.
Yep.
So I just, like I said, when I wake up, it's just thank you for another day. Thank you for even opening my eyes this morning so I can draw breath.
Yep.
Right? Like I'm so grateful to be alive. Otherwise, I would have been most likely found in a bathroom somewhere, dead.
Yeah.
And every day I wake up is a blessing. And like how my buddy Roxic will tell me and has told me all the time, oh, still counting them blessings, right? I was like, yeah, counting blessings left and right, man.
I like Roxic.
He's a good, solid friend of mine.
Yeah.
And we, you know, we had both tried to get this message out to our buddy Matt.
Yeah.
But he was just, you know, in his ways, man. You know, he was just
can't save an addict from themselves. Addict's got to save himself. And that's hard. That's hard to cuz like I hope that Brick's okay with this. You know, Brick just recently had some and he talked about it a little bit on the stream. He had issues with a friend of his that was struggling, and I gave him a little bit of advice on, you know, something that he could do in the short term, but beyond making a phone call or two, there's nothing that an addict can do to help another addict. There's nothing somebody that isn't an addict can do to help another addict if that addict's not willing to help themselves. That work's got to come from them. You know, that's that place where they understand at their core that the way that they're living isn't a way that's going to produce a good outcome. That's something that nobody can convince you of. You know, we talk about rock bottoms and how some people need like 15 rock bottoms, right?
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that he died before he got to the one that would have made a difference for him. And I feel really, really awful for you and for Chris, because all you wanted to do was figure out a way to get through to this person, and there is no place that I can, like, as somebody on the outside of this, there's no place that I can bring you to make you understand at your core that emotionally there wasn't a single thing that you could have done if they weren't willing to do the work themselves. That's so hard to hear. It's hard to hear anybody tell you there was nothing you could do. Bullshit. Motherfucker, I am a powerful individual that has gotten through the last 3.5 years of my sobriety. I can do almost anything. Are you kidding me? I work out. I never thought I would work out. Do you know how hard it is to work out? I can do anything. And then somebody says, you couldn't save him. And that is such a difficult thing for somebody that cares about somebody else to hear. That, you know, it creates this level of dissonance in your head where you're like, but, you know, look at how far I've come. I could have gotten them to this place. They couldn't. They could have gotten them to this place. You could have helped if they had wanted you to help get them to this place. But there wasn't anything you could have done. You could have locked them up. Guess what? They'll find drugs. They'll find booze. Until they're ready to say, I'm an addict and I need help. Anything anybody can do.
And I seen the picture on the Discord, man. Congratulations to you, dude, on the fitness. That is,
thanks, man.
That is awesome, man. Keep it up, dude. That is fucking great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, it's definitely one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like, I was obese for close to 2.5 decades. I was when I first started. So basically, what happened was, I got sober, and then the following summer was like, okay, so now I'm making this good decision for myself. I got to start making other good decisions for myself. For instance, what I eat, how much I weigh, and it started to really, I started to see like results, not in terms of like looking the way that I want to look, just in my knees didn't hurt, my back didn't hurt, I didn't have GERD, I wasn't like constantly verping. You know, I wasn't snoring anymore. Like, I'm not even talking about like the fun stuff. Like, you know, having your wife look at you like, damn, like, yeah, okay, that's great. But like, not, you know, not getting 2.5 hours of shitty sleep a night because I'm apneic. That's like, that's worth its weight in gold, dude.
I think that's one of the things the doctor recently told me, because that's another thing in sobriety too, right? We have to go get ourselves checked out and make sure that we're okay. And
Yeah.
so all the insanity, all the craziness of my active addiction, I'll spare the details because it's just crazy. All I came out with was high blood pressure.
That's it?
Right? That's it. So, and now I'm seeing a new doctor, and now he's saying that I should have a machine sent to me because I have sleep apnea.
Yeah, you need a CPAP machine?
Yeah, so they sent me the trial one where you put it on your finger and like you know it reads you and whatever. And so apparently I do need one of those machines at the house here.
That sucks.
But you know, my lady doesn't say that I snore really too bad. You know, but she says soon as my head hits the pillow, I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Well. and that never used to be. I used to just lay in bed with my eyes wide awake, right? Because we're actively, you know, high or whatever.
Yep. You have psychoactive substances in your body.
But you know, a lot of people, you know, I've heard, and you know, again, I'm speaking like I'm coming from like my AA home group to meetings to people I've met along the way, and my dear friends and my loved ones. You know, it's about the journey, not the destination, right?
I love that saying. That's one of my favorite sayings.
So I'm, yeah.
Which is so funny because when I was still actively drinking, it was about the destination, not about the journey. You know, at a certain point, I was like, I don't care what this tastes like. I just want the booze in me, you know?
100%.
100%, yep. Ooh, we're getting this gray on.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to see what it looks like when it's done painted, man.
Got a ways
I'm really
to go.
excited to see it.
I appreciate that. Joys are in the journey. Yep. I mean, so I think that there are joys in the journey. I think there are joys in destinations. I just don't think that you should sacrifice the journey for the destination. Does that translate? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does. I think I like that.
Yeah, I don't sacrifice the journey for the destination. Because the destination is good, but the journey can be amazing. You know?
Oh yeah.
I think.
It has been. You know, before I came to New York, growing up and you know, grew up in New Jersey, and my father would take me to New York to see the Christmas tree. You know, when I was like, I don't know, 8, maybe 9 years old. Maybe I'm kind of guesstimating.
Sure.
But he would show me all the homeless. Right. He would point them out to me on the streets, and he would say, "This is what happens if you don't stay in school, if you do drugs, you know, if you get in trouble with the law." Right.
Yeah.
And then to actually become homeless on the streets of New York. Right. Like.
Yeah.
You know, I stayed in a shelter, in a homeless shelter for one night because it was just like, whoa, right? Like I was never really exposed to nothing like that before. And that next morning I went to work and I was literally just sleeping on the trains and the platforms. I'd be getting to work early, like 2 hours early, and my shop steward finally was like, wondering why I'm coming so early all the time, and he said, "Are you homeless?" I said, "Yeah, you know, I'm sleeping on the trains," and you know, this is another God shot for me. Like another like people being placed in my path right along the way.
Yeah.
And he said that, listen, I'm gonna open up the shop and you can go sleep upstairs, and I'll come and get you. You know, when it's time to, when it's like 7. I'm like, oh my God, man! Like, so I was trained at a young age to be fearful of New York City, right?
Yeah.
That everybody wants to kill you, wants to rob you.
Yeah.
And that's just not my experience, man. Ever since I've been here, it's just been beautiful. Like, a lot of great people. Sure, you have your people that'll yell at you and scream things and but most of the time it's been good people.
Yeah,
willing to help you.
Like I think most people are pretty decent. I used to think that people are only as good as their circumstances will allow, but I think that for the most part people try to be decent for the most part. Not always, there's scumbags, there's pieces of shit out there, of course there are, but
yeah.
I think that for the most part, yeah. I'm not willing to throw out, all of humanity for some, basic baseline cynicism that, ain't gonna do me any good anyways. Like, I don't know. Did you hear my take on cynicism?
That was last show?
That was like a week ago, I think. A little more than a week ago.
If I did, brother,
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. I barely know who's in the chat for like half the stuff that I talk about, and I talk about sobriety related stuff 4 times a week, so it's like it all kind of blurs together. That's why oftentimes what happens is I'll get stuck thinking about what I want to talk about when I should just be like rehashing stuff that I said 2 years ago, because chances are people that are here may have heard it, but there's a good likelihood that they haven't, and there's also a good likelihood that hearing it again isn't going to hurt, But
right.
Basically, the idea is, I think that, and I understand why, but I think that cynicism is a pretty cowardly way to live. I think that people that allow themselves to just be cynical all the time are just kind of broken people. I think that the people that are willing to continually put themselves out there and live their kind of first principles are pretty amazing. And that's something that I aspire to, is to, continue to say yes to helping people when help is needed, even though it might put me in a position that where I can be taken advantage of. Like I would rather roll the dice and be taken advantage of than not have rolled the dice in the first place.
Right on. Wait, Rick, youth equals asshole attitudes. I agree. I can agree with that.
Youth equals asshole attitude. I mean, a lot of the time, but I think that they're taught that. I think they're taught that. I think that oftentimes people have like 1 or 2 really kind of bad experiences, and then they'll take the teachings of cynical people around them. They'll take the 1 or 2 bad experiences, and then they'll build a whole personality and lifestyle around that. When, the person that is willing to put themselves out there, knowing that they can be taken advantage of, knowing that there are people out there that will treat them like shit, I think that's courageous. And I think it's laudable and, in a way, very, very beautiful.
And then Rock's like, destinations when I have died sober, productive, useful. Until then, keep coming. What his
Until then, keep coming. That's what my
told
first sponsor said to me. That's not bad, man. Yeah, thanks. I've been burned so many times. I have a hard time taking the chance helping anymore. Taken advantage of too many times. It's hard. It is hard, dude. It is.
Just seems like nowadays, like a lot of people, and not just youths, but even adults too, like nobody cares, man. It's just like kind of giving up on, giving up on just life,
In some instances, yeah.
And and when I said earlier when I first started with you, I said about how there's times where I just I look at the world, I look at the people around me, and it's just like, damn, man, like we don't have to live like this, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's hard to get those people to wake up. I watch daily, well, not daily, but pretty often I watch. I don't know if you guys seen the streets of Kensington, Pennsylvania, like a YouTube channel that shows like some guy walks around with a camera showing like all the. There's a street in Philly that is pretty much like an open heroin market.
Yeah. I've seen that.
And it's like the real life zombie land, right?
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, I've seen it.
I watch that in case I, to purposely keep that fresh in my mind. That that's where I could very well be if I stray from sobriety, right?
Yeah.
I usually when I see something like that, I say, there, but for the grace of God, go I, because that was me,
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all learning. We're all meant to do something. I think. Now being sober in sobriety, I can hopefully help others who are suffering.
Yep. I hear you. Brick, I understand it. I didn't say I didn't understand it. I think it's an adapted behavior. I think it's learned. I think it's you get burned too many times and you don't want to be burned anymore. I get it.
Yeah,
it's hard to be taken advantage of. You feel as if the basic regard that you might have for other people isn't being given back to you in any kind of a reciprocal way. And that's really fucking difficult because it makes you feel like you're less of a person.
and that's something that I learned in the rooms too. Is like we are not saints, but we're also not going to be a no one's doormat.
Yeah.
Right? Just because we're sober don't mean that we just keep our mouth closed.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, you should still stick up for yourself. I'm not like I'm not saying no, let them take advantage of you. No, fuck that. I'm not saying let them take advantage of you. I'm saying that if you can get yourself to a place where you can stick up for yourself, but when somebody needs you, you are still willing to put in work for somebody else, I think that's beautiful. That's it.
I see that daily at the store. So most people will say, I guess I work with retail now because I'm dealing with clothes and customers, and when the bell rings twice, I go upstairs to grab the donation bin.
Yeah.
And I agree. It's in like a kind of a tight spot in the store, right? Like really tight area. So you get the customers who are there looking at things, and I have to kind of like excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma'am. Like I just have to bring this to it. Sometimes you get the nasty look or the nasty like I'm ruining their day, right? Like
yeah.
like excuse me, I have to get past you. So like
excuse me, I'd like to get by now.
I'm working on being better at just being okay with what's going on around me, right? Not to what is it? Not to expect anything.
Yeah.
Right. Just do my job, do my 8 hours or 6 hours or whatever, and go home, see my girlfriend, have dinner, and just live life.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I guess I never developed healthy enough boundaries. It would always affect my family. I mean, trying to learn how to develop appropriate boundaries is very difficult, especially since we're not really given a good roadmap on how to do that. Like, we're also not like Setting up boundaries, part of setting up boundaries is knowing exactly how you feel. And oftentimes, just coming to a place where you understand how you feel can be difficult all by itself. So now you have the difficulty of trying to parse how you feel, and then you have the trying to describe to somebody else how you feel and what exactly that means in terms of the way that they can or should treat you. That's difficult. That's all difficult because you're asking yourself questions and you're asking other people to respect specific lines that you might not know where they are. Setting up boundaries is difficult, man. It's hard. It's not easy.
So, so I see that the paint is drying on its own as you're doing it. So are you have to go back and reapply, or is that kind of like the final product?
So what I'm doing right now is a process called glazing. All right. So if you look at the picture above me, and
yes,
actually, let's see. Let's get the other one. Let's get the other one up here. Okay. So if we look at his robe, for lack of a better term, we can see that this is all like gray and there's a glow effect from underneath, right? So what I'm doing is I have the base red done. That was just a base coat that's really easy to get on there. Now what I'm doing is trying to glaze up layers of thinner and thinner paint so that I get this transition from the red in the deep recesses all the way up to the highlight areas that are going to be this dark gray that I'm then going to go over with so I'm going to go up to a dark and then I'm going to bring it back to a light for the very most pointed areas. So you can see now that we've got some of that dark gray kind of worked in now, but we still have our dark red our red recesses. So like right down here, you see gray around the outside, so it looks kind of smoky, and then down in the recesses, nice and red. So that's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to do right now. So right now I have a paint over here. That's this one right here. This is a high pigment paint from a company called Pro Acryl. That's this company right here. So Pro Acryl from Monument Paint or Monument Hobbies. And I've mixed that with what's called a medium. Now, a medium is a binding agent for the pigments. So pigments are suspended, basically little tiny particles of color are suspended in an acrylic pigment. Or not acrylic pigment, acrylic binder. That binder is what dries, and when it dries as a polymer. So it's a plastic, basically. So basically, all paint is colored plastic that I'm applying in thin layers over and over and over and over and over again. Because I want this to look really good, I have a couple of tricks that I could use to make this really, really fast, but I've never done this particular technique before, so I'm practicing it. I'm playing around with it, see how it goes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really, really like in detail, man. You know, I really kind of sparking the interest, right? Like that sounds like seems like a really cool thing to do, man. Even like I could picture just doing it like alone, you know, like in a room somewhere, just like painting them.
Yeah, you know what I like to do? I like to turn on like old sitcoms and just sit up at my painting desk and chill out and paint shit. And my wife and kids will come in and talk with me, and you know, I'll have conversations with them, and meanwhile I'm getting, you know, something kind of zen and enjoyable done. And if you like like this kind of thing, and you said that you like Star Wars, right?
I do.
There just so happens to be a Star Wars game called Star Wars Legion. There's another game called Star Wars Shatterpoint. And Shatterpoint is really, really small model count, so it's really easy to get into for a really inexpensive cost. I mean, don't get me wrong. you are somebody that has enjoyed crack in the past. These things
Yes.
are a very expensive alternative to drugs.
Okay, I got you.
I told you that Robin Williams was a big painter. Yep, that's where his coke money went.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's wow.
Yep, his cocaine money went to his miniature collection, which is kind of funny and cool. So, yep.
I'm gonna have to look up these games that you're speaking of, Legion
Yeah,
and Shatterpoint.
Well, you know what? I actually have a Yoda and I have a Cad Bane that I painted about a year and a half ago. I think I uploaded them a while ago to the Geek Stuff portion of the Discord, but yeah, I can throw those up there. Boundaries are key. Yeah, they absolutely are, Roxic. Man, they are, Chris, they are 100% key, dude. Like, knowing your boundaries, knowing how to respectfully establish your boundaries with people that you know and love and care about, and then doing that with strangers. Like, these are all individually different skills. Like, I think that trying to establish boundaries, especially with people that you love, can be kind of difficult because it almost feels like you're asking them to, step back a little bit from, maybe what your relationship to them might have been. But yeah, man, they're absolutely key. Totally agree with that. So yeah, I love this hobby, man. That's such a chill, relaxed kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely something I'm gonna be looking into. And I like this kind of, like, this dark fantasy kind of.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the character's called that you're painting, but to me it looks like kind of like a mage, sorcerer type.
So
I don't know if that's.
This is Agathon, the Whisperer in the Dark. Agathon, the Whisperer in the Dark, is a demonic entity who comes to the world of Cain, Caen, in order to collect the souls that he was promised in exchange for knowledge about how to use magic.
Oh, okay.
And this is from a game called War Machine and Hordes, or just titled War Machine, which is my favorite tabletop war game. I actually we had some new players this last weekend that I introduced to the game, and they had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
Always good to have fresh blood in there,
So, it's funny because you said, so you're 44?
44.
44,
yes,
yeah, you're older than me. And how, like, other than, like, computer gaming, have you ever, like, you played D&D? Have you done anything like that?
Yes, we're actually in the middle of a campaign, me and a couple of my other Xbox buddies. But we've only had three sessions so far. I think it's becoming difficult to have everyone on the same page for the same day,
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. That, I mean, the older you get, the more difficult that becomes. I totally empathize with that, dude. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. I had one of the guys that was over this weekend is 49 years old, and he's never done anything geeky in his life, but he's always wanted to. And I was like, oh man, I'm so glad that I'm helping to pop your cherry, but Jesus, what rock have you been living in that, like, under that you haven't been able to, like, geek with anybody? And he's like, well, my wife is, she has no interest in this kind of thing. And I'm like, you know what? My wife doesn't have any interest in this kind of thing either. I get that. So, if you ever want to, I'm really glad that I was able to introduce you to this game, and, can't wait to spend some more time teaching you and getting you into it and basically acting like your dealer.
Yeah.
Because
you did say that it was expensive.
Yeah, these aren't cheap, dude. I mean, I think this one was like $34, $35 MSRP. I think I got it for like $20. Because I know where to look.
Exactly. Yeah. Know where to find it.
I know where to find it, bro. I knows where.
That's like the same with, like, magic Magic the Gathering now, like, I want to play, but it's like, so I have MTG Arena for PC.
Yeah.
So that's about the extent of my Magic playing nowadays. But we used to all chip in money and get like the latest booster box or whatever that comes out, and then we
You
would,
guys do like a draft?
Yep, we would draft it up
Yep.
in our buddy's basement.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good time. We would draft it, and then we would play test. So
Yep.
good times,
familiar.
man.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I play. I still have a couple of decks. Like I said, I got rid of most of my stuff. But I used to play Elder Dragon Highlander EDH, or Commander is the colloquial name for the format, and it's the most. Yeah. It's the version of the game, and this isn't necessarily just. I'm not like explaining to you. I'm explaining to chat. It's a game that the primary format of Magic the Gathering is a 60 card deck that you build, and every card can be represented up to 4 times in that deck, except for basic land. You can have as many basic land as you want. So it's a 60 card deck. Commander is a 100 card deck, and it focuses around one central character, one central creature. And every single card, except for your basic lands, have to be different. You can only have one copy of each card in your deck. So the decks are like, they're like this thick and they're huge, and you know, it's very rare that you see the same exact cards played every single time that you play a deck of EDH. It's a lot of fun. It's the most closely resembles tabletop strategy games out of any of the other games that I've played. Oh, you know what? You said you had a PC, right?
Yeah, I have a basic HP. I don't have nothing.
Okay.
Nothing wild where I can do bells and whistles for the stream or nothing like that. It's just
okay. Gotcha. I was gonna ask.
It does run Arena.
It does run Arena. All right. Cheers. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got it. There's a game called Moonbreaker that I played a few times on stream that is basically a tabletop miniature game, but it's on Steam, and it was really, really good. I had a lot of fun playing it, and would play it again if I had other people to play it with. But it comes with like a miniature painter program in it, where you can like go through and paint all the minis that are in it. It was really cool.
Sounds like in depth. That's a lot of right.
Yeah.
A lot of content. That's cool, man.
Yep. Lots of content. So,
one of the things that I think I find most enjoyable about even tabletop online games, or even just landing, right? Just like me and Roxic, when we used to hang out, we would go to their brother's house or their friend Ben's house, and back then they were playing Star Wars Galaxies for PC, the MMO.
Yep. The co-host of the show, Tiki, loved that game. He used to play that all the time too.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
They'd be playing that. They'd be playing Quake, right? And some of the best times, man. Just sitting there gaming with your friends and your loved ones. Nowadays they have. I don't know if you're mainly a PC guy, right? You don't really play console.
I got a PS5 right there. I got an Xbox One out there. I have the Switch set up for in here if I ever want to play like Breath of the Wild, dude. I'll play anything on anything.
Oh wow, so
Well, so like I used to make a lot more money than I do right now, and it translated into me buying a whole bunch of stuff that I don't use all the time. So yeah, like I don't make that money anymore, unfortunately. I would love to, but it was a lot of stress, and I don't need that stress.
Right on. So the reason why I was saying that is because you've sure everyone Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
So I've been watching some of my I joined up with this stream team. That's why I tagged you in that post earlier today.
Yeah, I was
Twitter,
curious about that. I was wondering what that was about.
So I've been watching them play Baldur's Gate 3, and it's like straight up just like D&D, but like video game form. It's like saving throws and rolling for criticals and all that. It looks really amazing. And then I was excited because I'm like, oh cool, maybe I can play that.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be coming to Xbox until like early 2024. And I was like, oh man, talk about crushing the dreams. No,
Yeah.
but gamers, we get excited for something.
Yep.
Kind of quickly want to throw this in here. Tomorrow, I don't know if anyone plays Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th or Evil Dead, but tomorrow they're releasing Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Game Pass.
Nice.
So that's going to be something I'll be playing. Definitely be on stream with that.
All right. Hey, anytime you go live, don't be afraid to throw your stream info up in the content creator in the Discord, dude.
Okay. Yeah, I seen that. I just wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're more than welcome to it, dude. There's a bunch of people in here that like Dead by Daylight. I know that Bowler's a Dead by Daylight fan. Kopi is a Dead by Daylight fan. Yeah, I know there's at least a few people that really like that game in here.
I wish I can hop in with you for some Hunt, man, because again, watching you play that kind of stimulated me to wanting to play it, man. It's really
Watching me
intense,
get frustrated.
Man.
Yeah, it's super intense.
Yeah,
bro.
it's just it's crazy because you're fighting off like PvE.
Yep.
Right, you got the zombies or whatever they're called in that game running around, and then you got the water devils, and then you got the main. Yeah, the main bounties that you're going for, the monsters. But then on top of that, you have real life other players also going for the same stuff. So it's like never have like
intense,
a dull
dude.
moment,
It's intense. There's a reason it's one of the few games that I still swear at. Like legitimately swear at. But yeah, I don't know. I like it. That's fun.
And then seeing you play Remnant 2 as well is it made me install the first one, and I've been trying to find time to run through that.
Nice. It's a good game. The first one's a good game. The second one is an amazing game. But like the first one's still absolutely worth a playthrough, in my opinion. I think it's a great game.
What am I? I'm playing Diablo 4.
Nice.
I popped in. I actually loaded up NHL 23 because another in real life friend of mine. We used to do. This is a little fun fact. Used to do backyard wrestling with this guy, and also Rock's there too. And he's turned his love of hockey. He's also a streamer, and they've formed their own hockey league for like NHL 23, like the game. So like they're on season like 29 right now. So they were like, just kind of got me excited to play again. Maybe I can play with him too. Again, and going back and playing with friends it's good, man. Feels good.
That's very cool, man. I love hockey. That's my favorite sport next to ping pong.
Oh, okay. Then so now I have to ask you, what team or teams are you a fan of, or that you like watching?
Are you watching the stream?
I am.
There you go.
I've seen it. Yeah, Stanley Cup champions.
There it is. My Colorado
Okay.
Avalanche.
Oh, Colorado. Okay. They're powerful. Definitely a powerful team, man. Sure.
Yeah, we got some back end stuff that we need to clear up, but Cale Makar's a fucking phenom. Nathan McKinnon's a generational talent. We just, we need some better D, but and we need a second line center. We're hoping Ryan Johansson will be that second line center, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's coming soon. Hockey season, right? It's coming.
Yeah, are you a Devils fan? Or?
So I grew up as a Devils fan.
Sure.
My father would always rip on them, calling them the Colorado Rockies. For their old colors, right? The red, green, and white.
Yep.
And then, so I still hold a resentment since 1994 when the Devils went versus the Rangers in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And Stephane Matteau hit that wraparound goal. Oh my God, man! Like, all of my friends back in New Jersey were all Rangers fans, and I was like the only Devil fan.
Yeah.
and they were calling me that night like crazy. You know, oh, how about them Devils? Oh, they fucking suck. And it just like it drove me crazy, man. Right? Like
Yeah.
now that I'm living in New York, I still, you know, Devils will always be my heart, man. But
Sure.
living in New York now, just to spite the Rangers fans, I'm going for Islanders.
The Islanders, yeah.
I can
Nassau
never
County,
be a
bitch.
fan
Nassau
of the Rangers.
County.
Yeah, I could never be a Rangers fan ever.
Yeah. I hear that, dude. Oh, look at this. Look at this, John. Look at this, John going, go Bruins. Fuck the Bruins. Fuck the Bruins.
As Boston.
Fuck
Boston
Brad,
is the
fucking Brad Marchand. Like, here's the thing. I recognize why people like Brad Marchand if you're from Boston. I get that. He is absolutely an amazing player, and he's such a fucking pest. But he's one of those guys that, like, if he's not on your team, you have to hate him. But if he's on your team, he's your favorite fucking player, unless you're a Patrice Bergeron fan, which if you are, I'm sorry that he retired. That sucks. I thought Patrice was a pretty fucking, pretty amazing guy. He was a gentleman.
every Boston team, boo. Oh man, Roxic coming in there.
Roxic with the hot take, baby. Roxic with the hot take. I would never have guessed that.
And, you know, everyone assumes that I'm just like Yankees, you know, baseball.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my father used to watch baseball a lot. He always was a Mets fan.
Uh-huh.
I don't really. I'm not partial to any really baseball team, honestly. Like I just, you know,
I loved playing
if
it when I
Yankees
was a
are playing,
kid,
I'll watch.
dude.
If Mets are playing,
Yeah, I loved playing it when I was a kid, but I'm not a huge fan of baseball as an adult. It's just such a slow game, and to be honest, I always thought it was just kind of an excuse to get together and drink with your friends. And since I don't drink with friends anymore, it makes it really kind of hard to enjoy the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we used to do all football, you know, Super Bowl parties, and you know, it was just us. Like literally, I'd get to a friend's house, and it would just be all the guys would leave, and all the women would just be like, you know, sitting in the room, and we'd just go and smoke and drink or whatever, and then come back later. Like, you know, it's just like totally like removing ourselves from like any type of social interactions, right? Because even when we were together in the room together, it would still be like, why am I here, right? Like,
well, yeah.
the way that the way that the alcoholism or like the disease kind of penetrates your mind, right? Your conscience. Like, what am I doing here? I can be home doing this by myself. I don't need these fucking people. But I'm in a room full of my best friends, and I'm thinking like this, you know?
Yeah. There were times like we used to get together for a bunch of the Avs games during the regular season, and then for playoffs, like every game for playoffs, and it always just turned into the same thing. It was basically just all of us drinking until, you know, we were idiots. And then like as I got out of drinking, and I kept seeing all of my friends continue to do that kind of thing, it was more and more difficult for me to want to be a part of that, you know? So now, you know, 2-3 times a year I'll hang out, but you know, they're all drinking and carousing and having a good time, and I don't want to not just I could be elsewhere. I could be at home, but while I was drinking, like even surrounded by friends, I'd be like, you know what, I could be drunker if I was just at home by myself, you know?
Yep.
So that made it a little bit different, a little hard.
It's one of the you know, when I had gotten sober, I kind of, so what Roxic did was the end of my New Jersey life was upon me, I guess we put it. Like, you know, I finally was thrown out even of my aunt's house and my cousin's house, and I was sleeping on my other buddy's couch. And he said, you know, same thing, you know, 2 weeks, you know, to look, because I was up in like Lincoln Park, like, you know, North Jersey area, like by Wayne, and you know, there's really no type of like work life out there. I mean, I guess there is,
Yeah.
but like bullshit work, nothing serious. So
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
Toxic had spoken to his girlfriend, who was his wife now.
Yeah.
But
Congratulations,
he
Rocker.
said, listen, I'm coming to pick you up. I'm gonna bring you to the Bronx, and he helped me set up a resume,
Mm-hmm.
and was looking for work out there. So he took me away from people, places, and things.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that even like now through Facebook, like I've friended a lot of the old friends,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still doing the same. Like I'm not missing anything. They're still
Yeah.
doing the same shit.
Yeah.
And like they asked me to. A lot of them are like in the hardcore death metal scene. Like, yo, come out to the show. You're always welcome. I'm like, no, because if I'm gonna go, it's like putting myself in like danger zone.
Yeah.
Even though
yeah.
I know that I don't want to blow my sobriety.
Yeah, but you also
But
don't
it's
want to
like-
be, living that Kenny Loggins life.
Yeah, like there's like I have no reason to go there besides the music. Like, sure,
Yeah.
it'd be cool to see you guys and hug you and tell you I love you and everything. But like, what's it? The saying, my lady's sister, she passed away as well. She had over 45
yeah.
years of sobriety. She passed, but she told her sister, and my lady told me, it's like you keep going to the barber shop, eventually you're gonna get a haircut, right?
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
right. So if I keep going to hang out with these friends, I might end up picking up a drink or puffing on a blunt with them or something, like
Yeah.
and I don't want to do that. So they may or may not, sure they they say what's up to me and everything, but I don't think our friendships are really kind of like the same
Yeah.
as we were, because I'm
Mhm.
not doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because people, places, and things are just gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah. 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 They sure as fuck can, dude. They sure as fuck can. I don't know. The friends that I've got that I still keep in contact with, especially from my hockey days, they all know that I'm sober and nobody like pushes or anything, but it gets kind of, just gets old.
Yeah.
I still love to see them, but if they're carousing, that's not my scene anymore.
Yeah, and some of them, that's all they do.
Yeah,
It's just
some
like,
of 'em.
how and not judging nobody, because that's how
No.
I was too. Like,
No.
like literally wake up out of bed and just like roll over, and there's a blunt rolled already. As soon as you wake up, wake and bake, bam, done. Like that's not, you're not. Sorry, you're not living. Like that's not. It's like I said about myself, I was just existing.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, cool, I'm high again, excellent. Like
Yeah. Yay! Good job.
right?
me.
Like, yes. Yeah, our ego is like, pumping our chest up, like, yeah, that's right, I got high again, what's up? That's stupid, man. Definitely a better place in my life today.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
I Star got a call time for my 11 p.m. lift assist. Great stream, thank you, Judge. Love to hear more from you. We'll happily catch a stream. Matt Star, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Good to be
Thanks
here
for
as well.
showing up, John. It's great to see you, buddy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, bub. Much love to John. Are you a Pats fan? Is that it? You're a Pats fan, aren't you? I knew it. He's a Pats fan. You and Bill Burr. Oh, Billy Red Balls. Although, to be honest, I like that.
I think football. I don't know. What I guess Giants, right? Giants or Jets. I don't know. Like I've been to enough Jets games, I guess.
Yeah. I don't care about football. I have no interest in football. I played it in high school, and I don't know. I didn't like the culture all that much. But I was also bullied. Like, I said, I wasn't kidding when I said that, like, the crew that I ran with was basically the Goths.
Yeah.
I tried playing football so I could fit in. It didn't work out because I didn't fit in, and then trying to just made it look that much worse. So I hung out with the Goths, and they were all decent to me, and Still keep
It's a good
contact with a
group of
couple
people.
of them now. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were good. They were good people.
And everyone associates like goth or like metalheads as like evil or like mean or like but they're some of like the nicest people.
Yeah, they were all right. They were all right.
My ego is not my amigo. Right on, Roxic. Yeah.
My ego
Same here.
is
No
not
interest in
my
football.
amigo. Yeah. I like that.
Well, I gotta say, man, this has been fun.
Hey, dude.
I had a video chat with my son before I came on,
Nice.
so I got to hear his voice, and
That's awesome, dude.
we played some Roblox, and I'm trying to get him away
Aw.
from that because it's just like a friggin' cash grab, man. But he's 7 years old, so he doesn't
That's
know.
hard. Yeah, my 9-year-old's the same way, dude. My 9-year-old's the same exact way. He loves Roblox.
I don't get the draw, man. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't get it. I
mean,
try to get him into like Minecraft a little bit,
Yeah.
And seems like he likes it, but he's stuck on that Roblox, man.
Yeah, I don't get the Roblox draw either. But it might just be because there's like, there's chat functionality and there's so much that you can do in it that you have a lot of options, and I think that might be a big part of it. But I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. So, either way, I'm really glad that I'm glad you called in, dude. Glad that you called in.
I'm glad that I had a chance to come in, man. I really do appreciate having you as a sober friend, sober brother,
100%, man.
and also a fellow streamer, man. This was cool. This was anytime either way in the Discord or my Discord or
yeah, it's funny. I
streaming,
I think your Discord's a lot more active than my Discord.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's the other way around, honestly. But I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing really with my Discord. Like somebody set that up for me as like a template of what they did for someone else.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just like added in the channels I wanted and whatever. But now being part of this stream team that I'm part of, I'm mainly in the stream team in Discord. Like so, like I'm losing. I shouldn't say I'm losing. I'm not as active in my own Discord, and that's not good.
Gotcha.
I gotta pay more attention to that. But shit, I forgot what I was
hard.
going. But yeah,
I, like on here talking, I don't mind talking like into the camera, into the can. I don't like typing shit out. I'm just not good at it. I had some bad experiences on like Facebook and stuff earlier in my like online career, and it just taught me that I just don't want to share that much with people when I'm typing it. I'm happy to share almost anything about my life here talking to the camera. Absolutely happy to. But anytime I'm typing it out, I'm like, I feel weird.
Yeah.
And I honest to God don't know why.
Oh, my lady is big on that. She often will say like, oh, you're telling your personal information to people you don't even know. It's like, well, that's a good point. Like, sure, I know you through streaming, right? But, I guess it's more of trust, like, and just, it's just not for you either. It's for like, members of the stream team, or if I'm playing a game online and I'm on the headset and we're like talking and laughing, like, it's like, you don't really know these people, right? You just like met them online and you're playing with them,
Yeah, no, I get it.
Internets are weird, man.
Internets are weird. Internets are fucking weird. You're not wrong, bro.
But it also is strong in, bringing people together.
Can.
Like you were saying earlier about, you can, people you don't know can turn into friends, and then you guys just start building a relationship, man. So.
I fully believe that, yeah. Fully believe it.
So what is your plans for the rest of the evening? Like how long?
Well, I'm gonna take this to its logical conclusion around 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. It's usually when I get off the stream, anyways.
Okay.
And yeah, so yeah, I'll keep painting until about 10 o'clock tonight.
So that's midnight my time.
Yeah, about that.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, because it's 11:12 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yup. It'll just be me chilling here, listen to my chill beats. If they actually had like good license-free metal, I might listen to that. But
Hello.
hi, tiny child. Mwah. How are you?
Hello. I'm good.
Wanna say hi to this chat?
Hello, chat. How are
Yeah.
you today?
Hello.
Oh, hello, sexy librarian.
Hi, wife.
Hello.
Sexy painter guy. Sexy painter guy. I'm not sexy librarian. I'm a sexy painter guy. Sexy nerd.
Sexy.
All right? Super sexy nerd. What did that taste like?
I just brushed my teeth.
You brush your teeth?
Well,
Nice.
the tip of my tongue is burnt, so yeah.
How did you tip your tongue?
I don't like it if you go on my teeth.
You on your tea?
Yeah.
It's all right. We both had hot liquid issues today, didn't we? Mine were digestive. Oh! Yours were the the burning of the tongue.
The tongue of the burn.
The tonguing of the burn.
Well, that is delightful.
Your face is delightful. Take that, wife.
Thank you.
Oh, shit. That was a nice thing to say. Damn it. Every time I try to insult her, it just turns out nice. Psst. You're a good person. Damn it. Oh, I did it again.
I love you.
I love you too, baby. What do you think of my painting? No.
It's sexy.
That's sexy? Sexy painter?
You're a sexy
A
painter.
sexy painter. Oh.
You're a sexy painter with your...
What, with my readers? I'm old. I'm ancient technology. All right. Got my readers on.
Yeah, I've had to learn how to wear glasses.
Yeah.
My vision is dwindling. Just sad because I don't want to go blind.
I love you.
No. Who does?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's terrible. Did I feed Augie? No, I have not fed Augie. I'm terribly sorry. I'm the worst.
Guessing Cowboys fan by default from my wife and my brother. Oh
You
yeah.
what now?
No, I'm reading what Chris said. We were talking about football.
Oh yeah. No interest in football. I'm a Jets and Cowboys fan by default from my wife and brother. Gotcha. Yeah. No, it's hockey or nothing for me, man. I love hockey. I love playing hockey. I haven't played in a while. I would love to get back on the ice. My oldest son, who's 14, just asked if he could play hockey this fall, and we're like struggling to try to figure out how to afford it because I don't know how it is in New York, but ice time here in Colorado is such a fucking premium. It's so expensive here, and it just boggles the brain, dude. So trying.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it's just not cheap. I don't know how we're gonna afford it. I don't know.
I never learned how to ice skate.
Ah,
I was always on rollerblades. We used to play hockey on rollerblades.
yeah.
You know, carrying the net to the local school playground.
Yep.
Just setting up with a squad of boys.
I gotcha. Yeah, I used to play with a bunch of adults once upon a time it was this weird covered like jungle gym kind of area, but like it had this one covered area to it that had just enough space for us to set up and play like 3-on-3. And that was
Okay,
about
hey,
it.
that works.
Yeah, that was about it.
Hey, whatever works, man.
But then when I got to Colorado, it was about 2 years or year and a half after the Avs won their 2001 Stanley Cup. So all of my friends that were here that I knew, they were all really, really into the game. So like 2 or 3 of them got me into playing, and we all played together for a couple of years, and that was a lot of fun. So that was a good time, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't played in a couple of years. I'd like to again. My wife keeps telling me, "Oh, you should go out and play." And I'm like, I can't afford it. Plus, the nights when they play, it's like all like Friday night, and I stream on Friday night. I want to keep streaming on Friday night. I don't want interrupt my stream. I don't want to interrupt no stream. That's my sobriety time. It's Will's sobriety time, which is sacrosanct in my opinion.
It's the top priority.
Top
Sobriety.
priority. Yep, it absolutely is. We're gonna do a little bit of touch up here, since we created.
Coming out really good, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I hope to one day maybe be able to show up some of the stuff I painted. Like, look what I did!
Absolutely.
This is because of you!
That was the reason that we have a geek area in the Discord.
Oh yeah, I can post some of my stuff in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got a bunch of different things. My son plays, well, he doesn't play it. He kind of collects the cards for Pokemon.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
So I sent him like a rules booklet. Like somehow it came in the store. It came in Pokemon like a deck of two decks of Pokemon cards, and it had like the manual on how to play. So
Yeah.
I mailed it to him, and I say, listen, we'll take the time. We'll be able to each learn how to, because I don't know how to play Pokemon either. Like like I talked about before, I've only played Magic, so
Yep.
assuming it's kind of the same deal, right? Like
yeah.
But going to have to bedtime. All right, man. Yo, Chris, thanks for coming, man. Respect to
Seriously.
you. Love you.
Chris, it was so nice to meet you. Thanks for showing up, and thanks so much for the follow. Really appreciate that, bro. Anytime anybody wants to stop by, Bowler, I think, linked the information for the Discord. Anybody that wants to come in and chat is always welcome. 100%, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate the shit out of you. Appreciate the people that stop.
I'll be
on
talking
by.
to him in the morning. We do a video call.
Yeah.
He's a trucker, so he's always on the road. So
Gotcha.
try to keep in contact with him.
Yeah. That's it's a lot of mileage. It's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
I don't have
So-
anybody in my life that does that.
No, I mean, so it's cool because I'm working and he's working, right? So we just kind of, even if there's just silence, man, as long as he's there and I'm there, it's cool, man.
It's the checking in, right? It's the you all right? Yeah, you all right? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, I got you.
One of my oldest friends at the moment. So I actually, in real life, like, he knew my mom, he knew my dad.
Yeah.
I knew his brother. I think I met his uncle. Peace out, brother. Love you, man.
Take care of yourself, bud.
Yeah, really good, solid friendship, man. So,
Yeah.
and that's not easy to come through these days.
No, it's not, and it gets harder the older you get too. At least I think it does.
So I wanted to ask you, and I
Yeah.
don't want to be rude.
No.
So our like this, it's gonna be weird to say it like this, so I apologize ahead of time.
Okay.
But like our session is like, I think it went well. I think a lot of things were it was really good times, like 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Can I not be on call no more? Like how does it? I'll be
Dude,
I'll
you
be
can,
in the stream with you.
you can dip,
but
you can stick around. You don't have this.
Okay,
This is
I was
your
like wondering,
time,
like,
bro.
wait.
No.
Yeah.
Look, you can dip. You can take off if you want to. Like I appreciate spending time with people, and I appreciate having people in the call that want to be in the call. But you're not forced to be here, dude. Like not at all. With like 2 hours and 20 minutes of you and I jaw jacking. Yeah, you're okay, dude. Like if you're reaching for things to talk about, yeah, 100%, man.
Right on. Okay, cool. Like bathroom and just seeing what's going on in the house and everything.
Yeah, no, I gotta go take a leak, and
no.
I actually want to go get some water, and I gotta go get another paint. So yeah, we'll take a little break, and if you're not here when I come back, that's just fine, bro.
All right, sounds good, man. Like I said, I'll be in the stream. I just won't be on the call here. That's all.
Sounds good, bud. Sounds
But
good.
yeah,
All right, we're gonna take a
excellent
little
time,
bit
man.
of a
Thank
break.
you so much.
Yeah, no
Yep.
problem, bub. Anytime. Hey, seriously, anytime. Just shoot me a text. Say, hey, I got stuff to talk about tonight, and I'll make space for you. Okay?
Sounds good, brother. Thank you so much, man.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Dredge NYC. Go check out his live streams. Make sure that you're sending a follow his way if you can. And yeah, he plays Dead by Daylight, which not my cup of tea, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that really do enjoy the shit out of that game. It's every time you get impaled by that gigantic space monster from out of space, it makes me pucker. It makes me pucker more than diarrhea at the Costco. Okay? There it is. I said it. I said it right there. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go take a leak and grab some water. cat came back the very next day. Cat came back. We thought he was a goner. The cat came back. He just wouldn't stay away. Blue black. Don't even need much of the blue black. There we go. Tally ho, everybody. Tally ho. Back to work. Ooh, that is a smooth beat that we're listening to right now. Listen to that smooth beat. Oh, I love it. I love how smooth and beat-like it is. Glaze consistency. Got a little bit too much on the brush, though. We just need a little tiny bit. There we go. Oh, yeah. Ooh, Dicks. Look at that motherfucker. What about dicks? What you want to say about dicks, son? What you want to say about dicks? They ain't got no eyes, Lieutenant Dan. Just trying to do a little bit of shading. That's all we're doing. Just a little bit of shading. All the recesses, just a little bit. Doesn't need much. Just glazing in our shades. Just treating it like Bob Ross would. That's all we're doing. Just Bob Rossing along. That's all we want to do. Just Bob Ross it up. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, we're putting paint on this thing's ass. Right in its butt crack. Look at that. Look at that. Right up in its culo. We put the paint in the culo, everybody. Did you see it? Look at the demon's butthole. It's right there. You can see it. Yeah, so Star Wars Legion and Star Wars Shatterpoint. So I would be the guy that wants to paint the bounty hunters and the background aliens. They have a whole, like, I know that Legion has a whole faction of scum and villainy. So if you are into scum and villainy, they exist in Star Wars Legion. I mean, Cad Bane was one of my favorite models to paint. When I'm done here, I'll head upstairs and actually, I might wait till tomorrow. But I will post some pictures of Yoda and the Cad Bane that I made. I was really pretty pleased with them. Those were so you can use. So these are acrylics. These are acrylic paints. I actually have used and will use again. I will use again oil paints. I love using oil paints. Oil paints blend incredibly well because they take forever to dry. They have this great blending property that I absolutely love. So yeah, big fan of the oil paints. Right now we're just going over all this shit. All of our smoky pants. Gonna go over all of our little smoky pants. So who doesn't love smoky pants, man? I do. You love smoky pants. I've seen you love my smoky pants. You're like, ooh, they're so smoky. But they also look like pants. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm there, bruv. Holding my brush just a little too tight. Because all we want is just basically the very edge of all of this stuff that we got going on here. Man, pretty pleased with the way that this is coming out so far. It's not the best paint job I've ever done. But since it's the first time I've done something that's working up from a brighter color to a darker color, I'm pretty pleased. Pretty effing pleased. Let's see. Just straight up glazing, yo. Straight up glazing. I love the zen of painting. Just trying to get into a flow state, just moving some paint around. No big deal. Just everywhere you go, just a little bit of paint here and there. Super thin layers of paint. Just a little at a time, getting lighter and lighter towards the edge. Just like Mama used to make. Same way Mama used to make it. I don't know if that made any sense at all. It probably didn't make any sense. It didn't even make any sense to me. And I said it. What's tomorrow look like? Gotta work out at the gym. It's leg day tomorrow. Or lower day, I should say. So I'm excited about that, because I like lower day. At least I like tomorrow's lower day. Gonna do some deadlifts. And we're gonna push that fucking weight. I think we're going for 415 for 3x3. I think that's what we're gonna do tomorrow, which is pretty good weight for me. Trying to get back on the train, get myself to where I want to be in my fitness journey. Lighter and lighter shades as we get up to the top. Just like that. Look at that. That's all right. Doing okay. We're doing all right. Very excited. Getting closer. I think it's looking great. Thanks, man. Thanks. I just want it to look, you know, like that. That's what I want it to look like. I think we're getting close. I think we are getting close. Let's see. I need a little water. There we go. Need a little bit of water. A little bit of our neutral light gray. And we just need to go pick out some of our details here. Just like that. Pretty subtle changes is what we're looking for. Pretty fucking subtle. Did we put the pink on here? I don't think I did. I don't think I put the pink on here. I need to do a little bit of pink. But not very much. Just need a little tiny bit. Got about 20 minutes left in the paint stream tonight. Don't forget to thin your paints, everybody. Don't forget to thin your paints. So we're looking to get this kind of like grayish pink sort of look here. And we're looking for kind of a grayish pink because it's kind of off-putting. It's a little unsettling to see something pink and gray. It's a strange color combination. I don't know if it's coming through on what we're doing here. I think it is, though. I think it's coming through. Really kind of almost unsettling is what I'm looking for. Unsettling color combination. Just in the highlights. Just in the highlights. I don't know if it's coming through. I don't know if this is like too dark a shade. Or too light a shade. It might be. We just want to glaze this on, right? Straight up glazing, everybody. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I honest to God think that these colors might be too light and they're being washed out by the camera. That's all right. I can see him. I can see him, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day is can Will see him? Yes, he can. Can Will see him? Yes, he can. Ooh, who is that? We're gonna add a little bit of red to our pink. Really pink it the shit up, you know? Just make it super pink. Give it a magenta-ing. Ooh, a magenta-ing. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Here it comes, everybody. Here comes the magenta. This is Pepto-Bismol time right here. We're gonna go in there with the pink, and then we're gonna come back in with the white. Just on the teeth. Yeah, that's what you want. Okay, so they do have some bounty hunters like Bosk. Not a bad price, at least I don't think so. Not at all, man. Not at all. I mean, so Legion is going to be a game that's skirmish, guys. So you're going to want like 20 to 30 models. Shatterpoint, though, is a game that you can get into that I think only takes about 5-6 models. So the price point for those two things varies wildly, and I think is quite a bit easier to get into personally. I think you'd have an easier time with that. But I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Let's get some more of our pink, our regular pink, not our. We're just gonna highlight right there. Not too bad. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Only thing about Shatterpoint I do not like is it's kind of cartoony. Like the models, I realize that better quality mean more money, of course. So Shatterpoint and Legion are made basically by the same company, but yeah, Shatterpoint's going to be a little bit more like Rebels or Clone Wars or something like that because they take a lot of their inspiration off of that. Legion, I think you could get into Legion for, I think the 2-player box sets come for like $100 and they give you like a hero, 2 squads, and then like 2 vehicles, which is pretty freaking good. Like they have 2 different starter sets that I know of. They have the Rebellion era where you have Rebels versus Stormtroopers, and then you have the Trade Federation era where you have Clone Troopers versus droids, and they're both good. They're both good value. If you can find one on like Amazon or eBay or something like that, it's really, really good value. I think it's an excellent value, but I'm also, biased because I love these games. Fucking love these games. Trying to get down to these crevices and brighten up all these reds without making a mess of any of our previous paint layers.
Give your balls a tug, you tit
Oh,
fuck.
I want to give my balls a tug. I haven't given my balls a tug all day. Which ball should I tug on, friend? The left one or the right one? Good night. Good to hear you. Oh, dude. Good night, Brick. Take care, man. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Appreciate it. Stopping by the paint stream and enjoying paint and goodness. That's what I'm glad you did with your face and other parts. see Brick this week, hopefully. For some remnant action. I need help clearing out that final boss. He is a mother effer. Don't you think, Brick? That's what I think. He was hard. He's a hard boss. Dicks! Oh, that actually scared me. Was not expecting dicks. Still haven't got stuck in the painting. Final boss is ridiculous. Yeah, final boss is just fucking ugh. Like, I didn't know there was a second phase to him. That was sucky. That was liquid hot suck, my friend. Didn't appreciate it. None at all. You're like, oh, I'm doing great, and I'm winning, and then I finish this boss off, and then suddenly, boom, nope, second phase. What? I hate second phase. I appreciate you getting stuck in the painting. It's fun to paint. I like to paint. Just happy little demons from a different world. That's all it is. Just happy little demons from a different world. No big deal. Just real chill with my happy little demon from another world. Color palette's a little bit like the root too, isn't it? The reds, the blacks. But red and black go really well together, so that's not surprising at all. Not surprising at all that I like red and black. This paint does a really good job of covering too. Not as good as the studio painters, but happy in my own little way. Studio painters are fucking amazing though, so. Channel the inner Bob Rye. That's it, dude. That's it. Just happy little alien creature with mouths on their tails. That's it. It's creepy. Just super fucking creepy. Fucking love this model though. I've always loved this model. This model is one of my favorites. Ever since I was first introduced to it once upon a time, which was a long time ago, to be honest. This model came out in like, I think 2019. I think that's right. I like I like my little trip hop. It's not metal. I do like metal. I'm gonna listen to some metal tomorrow while I'm working out. Gonna listen to some ISIS. I like ISIS quite a bit. It was one of my favorite bands before they broke up, which was a shame to me, in my opinion. Big fan of ISIS. Team Sleep never did it for me, but the Deftones sure as shit did. So I'll be listening to some Deftones tomorrow while I'm working out. Man, we're so close to being done with this cloak. Fuck, got it right on there too. Damn, that sucks. It's alright. Let's go over it again with... We'll go over it again with our gray. It's not that big a deal. Happy little accidents, everybody. Happy little accidents. Happy little laxatives, everybody. Happy little laxatives. You heard me. Laxatives. That's not bad. I'm not disappointed in that at all. What do you think? What do you guys think? Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too far off. Good night for real this time. Good night, Brick. Take care of yourself, brother. Alright, we're gonna go back to glazing. We're gonna bring our grays back into alignment. Clean up some of this mess we made. Because we did make a little bit of mess. Not a lot, but a little. Glaze it back up, everybody. Just glazing it back. It's funny because I'm probably the only one that can like see all the mistakes that I made, but I fucking can see them. Oh yeah. I notice you mistakes. You think I don't notice you? Psh. Who do you think you're talking to? The guy that saw the mistakes. Mistakes? Nah, brother. It looks awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Just working through it, baby. Just working through it. Finding all our little spots that we want to make sure are nice and clean. Just want it to be nice and clean, baby. Getting at that crevice. That crevice. Oh, I love a crevice. You know how much I love a crevice. 10. I love a crevice 10 out of 10. No, it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty freaking pleased with this. Pretty fucking pleased. Yeah. That's not bad. Not too bad. Just think. 3 hours. Well, 2.5. 2.5 hours. And that's just his skirt. I mean, it takes me forever to paint. I know some people that could do this in quite a bit less time than I do it, but you know what? This is my journey, and my journey is a little bit different from anybody else's journey, so I'm good with it. We gotta learn to do some non-metallic gold in here. That's gonna be interesting. Never done non-metallic gold, so that'll be a new adventure. So, yep. We'll keep painting this, and I think that's gonna be it for tonight. You are taking pride in your work, man. Enjoying my time here. Dude, I love having new people around. I love having people that are interested in their sobriety. I love geeks. I fucking love geeks. I love sober geeks. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, anyways, that's gonna be it for tonight. This is about what I can do for a very first attempt on making the box art, which is right above me. What do you think? Looks pretty close. Looks pretty freaking close. I'm pretty pleased with that. Nice smooth transitions, nice gradients. Our little buddy down here looks reasonably well shaded. All kind of gray and weirdly pink, although it's coming through very, very white on your end of things, unfortunately. But the way that I see it is there's a very mild hint of pink that's coming through. So anyways, I can't thank you guys enough. Seriously, we'll be back on Friday night with some Hunt stream with hopefully Kopi and Bowler. It would be nice to get some Kopi and Bowler time. I haven't played with either of them for more than about a game and a half in 2 weeks, and that's gotta change. So hopefully we'll get some Kopi and Bowler time coming up. You guys all take care of yourselves. Can't thank you enough. Back on Friday. Oh, by the way, tomorrow on Biggie TDT's stream, I will be streaming MechWarrior 5 with him. If you're interested in playing or interested in watching, send him a text, send him a DM through Discord, and yeah, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, and then we'll see you again on Friday for some Hunt. You guys all take care of yourselves. Can't thank you enough for being here, and as always, warm, creamy regards, everybody. Good night.